Good evening. For the last year, a carpool lot off Highway 401 in Cambridge has been home to dozens of people living in trailers. Today, the province moved in, clearing the site. While most people left peacefully, others pushed back. CTV's Jeff Pickle explains.
The tow truck's on site early Wednesday morning at the Town Line Road carpool lot.
Well, we got notice 5 days ago that all the trailers had to be moved out of the parking lot because someone gave a complaint against the parking lot.
The message from the MTO, get out or get towed.
Which I don't understand because no one here did anything wrong. It was a quiet area. We cleaned up after ourselves. Some
of the 20 to 30 trailers moved out over the last few days. Others agreed to be towed this morning.
We've tried to talk to the security about giving us a couple extra hours to try and figure out stuff, and they're being completely, they say they're not going to be unreasonable, but they're also like, get out. So
they say with no other options to legally park, they don't know what's next.
But we literally have nowhere else to go. And they offer free tows, but where are they going to tow us? They can't tow us to somebody else's private property. They won't do it.
According to the MTO notice issued to residents, maintenance staff of the Ministry of Transportation has identified your vehicle as being unattended, abandoned, or a non-commuting motor vehicle. Adding commuter parking lots are not intended for the storage of vehicles or trailers, abandoned or otherwise. By early afternoon, 2 trailers remain. The residents refusing to leave and questioning the MTO has the legal right to remove them.
We did get a notice, but it was less than a week ago. It had no name on who wrote the letter, no signatory.
George and Rachel were some of the first people to start living at the park.
It fit the criteria of what I needed, which was just a place to be able to just save up some money, so I could get out, do some work, save up some money, and get back into a house or an apartment.
They say making life harder for people trying to get back on their feet makes little sense.
Where are they going to go? I mean, anyone in the community could probably guess.
Many of those who live in the area say they are happy to see the site cleaned up.
If they were clean and tidy, I guarantee nobody would complain. If they were doing their own business, clean and tidy, kept everything organized, but they don't. Right? Like, they just don't.
Kevin says he contacted law enforcement, the MTO, at every level of government to try to get the site cleared, but until today, got nowhere.
I got every excuse you can ever think of that they needed more support, that we got to talk to them before we move them. And listen, I understood that people need help, right? But they took advantage of the help.
George and Rachel say they are not sure what tomorrow will bring, but they are worried about their former neighbors.
He might go wander around a plaza or two for a while until he starts looking, suspicious. Like he's going to end up somewhere. And unfortunately, that very well may be an encampment. And then what?
Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Cambridge.
The mother of a man who died in OPP custody at the Rockwood detachment 2 years ago is suing the province and several officers. The $3.7 million wrongful death lawsuit alleges Nathaniel Schofield's death could have been prevented. CTV's Spencer Turcott has the details.
It was filed on the exact date of his death, July 10th.
2 years after Nathaniel Schofield died while in provincial police custody at the Rockwood detachment, his mother, Faye Gaines, filed a wrongful death lawsuit at the Kitchener courthouse.
It's kind of like being in a movie, and I've been on an ongoing cliffhanger in numerous ways.
The lawsuit comes after Gaines filed formal complaints with Ontario's Law Enforcement Complaints Agency and following an SIU investigation that cleared officers of any wrongdoing.
My son was neglected, and the neglect caused his death. He could have easily been saved that night.
The statement of claim names the province, 4 OPP members, and several unidentified officers and civilian employees. Gaines is suing the parties for $3.7 million, alleging her son died because police failed to provide adequate medical care while he was being held at the South Wellington Operations Centre.
This was given to me as a gift when Nathaniel died.
According to the lawsuit, Schofield told officers he had recently used fentanyl, methamphetamine, and cocaine and expected to experience withdrawal symptoms. The claim alleges officers knew, or ought to have known, he was at an increased risk of a medical emergency.
They had hours and hours and hours, and they had information from him directly that could have saved him. They're trained in CPR. He was not given CPR by anybody.
The 36-year-old father of 6 from Arthur deteriorated overnight and suffered a medical emergency in his cell the next morning. He was taken to Guelph General Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The lawsuit also alleges broader systemic failures, including inadequate policies, training, and supervision.
We need what I'm calling ACAC. Answers, change, accountability, consequences.
The allegations have not been proven in court. The Ontario Provincial Police tell CTV News they have received the statement of claim. As the matter may be subject to legal proceedings and out of respect for the judicial process, the OPP will not be providing further comment at this time. For Gaines, she hopes the lawsuit leads to more clarity about what happened and believes it could prevent another family from experiencing the same loss.
I won't stop. I've promised that, and here I am 2 years later still fighting for him.
Spencer Turcotte, CTV News.
Waterloo Regional Police are investigating a break-and-enter at a Kitchener home and have released security footage of a person they want to speak with. Police say the break-in happened sometime between July 31st and August 3rd in the area of Waterbridge Court and Windrush Trail. Investigators are asking residents to check their own cameras for anything suspicious and say the person captured in this video may have information about the case. And police are also asking for the public's help identifying 4 men following a shooting in downtown Kitchener Friday night. Investigators have released these photos of people they believe may have information. Officers responded to reports of gunshots just before 8:30 p.m. near Duke and Scott Streets. Police say a confrontation between several people led to shots being fired. No one was hurt, but the area remained closed for several hours, and anyone with information is asked to contact the General Investigations Unit. Now to Guelph, where a high-risk offender was rearrested just hours after being released. Madani Johans left Maplehurst Correctional Complex Friday, but police say he violated his conditions by going into downtown Guelph. CTV's Karis Mapp reports.
Madani Johans is once again behind bars for violating his release conditions. The 37-year-old, who Guelph police have identified as a high-risk offender, has been ordered to stay away from the city's downtown core. But after being released from Maplehurst Correctional Complex in Milton on Friday, he hopped on a bus and returned to the area.
Shortly thereafter was observed by our officers in the downtown core of Guelph, which is in violation of several release orders, which prohibit him from attending a number of specific addresses within the city of Guelph's downtown.
Within hours of his release, Johans was taken back into police custody and charged with 9 counts of breaking probation orders.
This most recent release order had a condition that he not attend the downtown. So that's a geographically identified area. It was spelled out in the release order.
Police say they were aware of his scheduled release, but weren't actively seeking his rearrest.
Our allegation is that once he got off the bus, he did not vacate the downtown. He spent some time shopping, going in various stores, walking around. So he had, ample opportunity to leave the downtown, to get outside of the borders that he'd been ordered to stay away from, but he did not do so.
Johans has a long history with police dating back to July 2024.
This is at least the 3rd time that he's been released from custody and then rearrested fairly shortly thereafter.
He has a history of violence, which usually prompts police to release a public warning of his return to the community, which never came Friday.
Frankly, we were intending to, but he was arrested so quickly that we didn't get that warning out to the public.
Adding they're doing all they can to protect the people of Guelph.
We certainly take whatever steps we can to ensure the safety of the community.
Karis Mapp, CTV News, Guelph.
Tributes are pouring in for former CTV News chief anchor Lloyd Robertson, who passed away last night at the age of 92. CTV's Colton Weens now on how Lloyd's hometown of Stratford is honoring his life and legacy.
Lloyd was a humble icon. He just gave us the plain facts, and we need to cherish the integrity that Lloyd Robertson brought to the media, and we need to try to make sure we ourselves lead us back there. And that's how Lloyd's legacy will live on.
I feel very blessed that I could meet him. I'm not sure what else to say, but I'm getting literally goosebumps right now, just thinking about the memories that I have of him.
Lloyd was a legend. Everyone knew him. He was such a remarkable human being, covered some of the greatest stories of our generation. He really was a son of Stratford and loved this community so much.
Only the kindest words and the strongest memories last with the people that knew Lloyd Robertson, who say the Canadian broadcasting legend from Stratford always had the time for you and never made it about himself.
Even though he was at the top of the game in media, he just remained this humble human being, and he always said he was from Stratford and he had those Stratford roots.
He wanted to talk to me, and it was all about me. It wasn't about him, because he wanted to know my story. How'd you get into journalism? What blah, blah, blah. So, this is my idol, the reason I got into journalism in the first place.
When I first met him, before I was even in politics, he asked me for my phone number, and I thought he was just being nice. But sure enough, when I got elected, I would get that phone call, and on the other end was that familiar, reassuring voice of Lloyd Robertson. And he sometimes wanted to talk about politics, and sometimes he just wanted to chat.
Robertson got his start in broadcasting and radio with CJCS, learning the tools to succeed and leaving a lasting legacy on the station.
So everybody that walks through is reminded that Lloyd started here, and that kind of sets the bar when you start your day. You walk through the doors, you see Lloyd's name up there, and you say, okay, let's get it done.
His dad being a machinist's helper at the Stratford CNR shops, Robertson never forgot about his hometown.
Thinking about over the years, so many different ways and so many different people he'd met and touched, and how this is a loss not only for Nancy, the girls and their family, who lost a husband, a father or a grandfather, but for Canadians who lost, for generations, the trusted voice, the person that they last saw before they went to bed at night, and the person that gave them comfort in some of the darkest days of Canada and our nation and the world, or some of the happiest days.
Despite being the voice of CTV National News, Robertson and his family remained major contributors to the festival city, patrons of summer music, heavily involved with the Community Foundation, and always celebrating the successes of the area, but also feeling any tragedies or adversities Stratford faced.
Lloyd Robertson Day on August 31st in 2011, on his last day that he was broadcasting, David Johnston, the new Governor General of the country, made a special effort to change his schedule, and he rolled into the public reception at City Hall at Market Square to wish Lloyd well. It was that kind of reach that people had, from Governors General to everyday Stratford people who remembered Lloyd from going to school with him at Stratford Collegiate, or his voice on CJCS. It meant so much to so many people. I'll always remember, as he signed off, that's the kind of day it's been. And to Lloyd Robertson, Lloyd, thank you for always being so gracious, so kind, and for always caring about those in Stratford and around the world.
The city of Stratford and Perth County still mourning the loss of Lloyd Robertson, but always going to remember the lasting legacy he had on the community and the entire country. Colton Ween, CTV News, Stratford.
The battle to bring peace back to a noisy boulevard. CTV's Heather Senerin tells us why a pair of Cambridge residents say they've reached their breaking point. First, a look at our satellite radar. Clear skies for now, but you may see a cloud or two rolling in overnight, and we may be in for some scattered showers tomorrow. Taking a look at our current temperatures, we're sitting at 18 degrees here in Waterloo Region, 23 in Toronto, 22 in Windsor, 20 in Mount Forest. And here's a look from earlier this evening at the new build in Kitchener's Sports World area. Look at those clear skies. Stay with us. CTV News continues in 2 minutes. From roaring engine brakes to late-night street racing, residents near Franklin Boulevard in Cambridge say the noise has become unbearable. Now, as CTV's Heather Senerin reports, the region of Waterloo is looking for solutions.
Spend a few minutes at the roundabout at Franklin Boulevard and Myers Road in Cambridge, and you'll see an endless stream of traffic, including a lot of trucks.
It's constant. It's one after the other. You might get like a 10-second, 15-second break, and then another one comes by.
You might even hear it before you see it.
It sounds like it's a street race track. That's what it sounds like until there's a transport coming down and then they've got their engine brakes on and the windows are shaking, the house is shaking.
These two mothers live nearby on Bakersfield. It runs parallel to the busy boulevard.
We have a beautiful backyard that we've made basically our outdoor oasis, and we just can't enjoy it. And everyone who comes over is like, oh, you have such a nice backyard. It's too bad it's so noisy.
Residents say the roaring traffic has just amplified over time.
I've noticed in the last specifically 5 or 6 years that it's gotten a lot worse.
They say the rumble is even louder after dark.
My son has epilepsy and he needs nighttime REM sleep. And we can't get that with his windows open. We have to have the windows closed in order for him not to be disturbed by loud mufflers, by motorcycles, by the transports.
The complaints are certainly escalating.
City Councillor Scott Hamilton says constituents have been sounding off about it for years.
They've certainly gotten worse ever since the McQueen-Shaver bypass has directed large trucks from basically Highway 24 over here right down Franklin.
With all the diverted traffic, residents say they also worried about safety.
A couple of the houses behind me on this side of the road have had cars go right through their backyards and land on their decks.
Cambridge City Council recently passed a motion to work with the region on a solution. The region of Waterloo saying in a statement, in part, the region understands that this corridor is important to the daily lives of nearby residents, and we take these concerns seriously. Regional staff will be conducting a noise study. It is expected to be complete by the end of summer and will help determine whether noise mitigation is warranted, what may be required, and how much it will cost. Heather Centerman, CTV News, Cambridge.
Former Kitchener MP Mike Morris has announced he's in the running to be federal Green Party leader. He is one of 2 people that have been approved by party officials to run. Morris was the first Green MP elected in Ontario when he served Kitchener Centre for 1 term from 2021 to 2025.
I saw for myself how much one MP can get done. And that's a big part of why I'm running for leader and why I'm committed to running again as an MP. There's no other way I can spend my time that can make a bigger difference in the world than by doing this.
Current Green Party leader Elizabeth May announced her plans to resign last year. The Green Party will choose its new leader in November. A beloved Kitchener bowling alley back in action. CTV's Karis Map takes us to Frederick Lanes before it officially reopens under new ownership.
Well, we're in for a foggy, humid, and hot overnight tonight, but what will your Thursday look like? Those details coming up with your full forecast. Stay with us.
You're looking at another beautiful sunset just outside our studios here in Kitchener's Sports World area. We've had some stunning hot and sunny days so far this month, but with the humidity comes a little wet weather. Let's check in with Ashley Bacon now to find out what's in store for us.
Well, I hope you've had a great day today. I almost forgot it was already Wednesday with it being a short work week, and certainly out there it was beautiful. I wanted to spend more time outdoors today. The sun was shining and the temperature was rising. As we take to our futurecast, you'll notice a band of overcast. Now that's going to start to make its way through the overnight hours, and then by tomorrow afternoon we're going to start to see spotty showers throughout Waterloo region. Tomorrow we might see a little bit of everything, a bit of sunshine, a little overcast, and of course the potential for some rain. So keep an umbrella handy, but you might need a hat and sunscreen as well. It's just being that kind of summer where you just never know what we're going to get. Now those spotty showers do look like they will trickle into Friday, but overnight tonight, temperatures not really diving too far down. 18 is the expected low. We could start to see some fog patches develop around midnight. Also around that time, that's when the clouds will start to increase and of course making way for those potential showers tomorrow. Tomorrow we are expecting a daytime high of 28. Environment Canada saying the UV index should be around 7, which is still considered quite high. So make sure if you are out there you're being sun safe. And of course there is a risk for an afternoon thunderstorm. That has a lot to do with the humidex value. We are looking at around a humidex value of 36. So it's going to be a bit of a toasty day out there tomorrow. Looking at our almanac, in 1972 an overnight low was set at 4 24.4. We're nowhere near that tonight. We are expected to only get down to 18. 8:40 p.m. is now our sunset time, so get out there and enjoy it while you can. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast starting in Waterloo region. Showers expected to continue into your Friday and Saturday, but Sunday we should see a nice sunny day and a high of 26. So it will be a little bit of wet weather for the next few days. In Lambton, Kent, Essex, you might see a risk of a thunderstorm as well tomorrow, high of 28. Overnight lows for the next couple of days just dipping to 20. So not going to make for some very comfortable sleeping conditions there. But by Sunday, the sun makes a return and a high of 29. In southern Georgian Bay, you'll also see a risk of a thunderstorm for your Thursday and 25. Showers continuing into Friday and Saturday, 26 and 24. And by Sunday, that sun will try to make a return. There's a slight chance for showers there, a high of 25. Alexandra.
I'll keep my umbrella handy. All right, Ashley, thanks for this. An Elgin County woman has realized her dream of creating a sunflower experience unlike any other. And as CTV's Sean Irvin tells us, it will soon be open to the public.
This field full of sunflowers is literally an idea come true for West Elgin resident Jody Aldred. The 29-year-old recently returned to this area and within a few months envisioned the concept and the message.
From the aerial view, you can see a bumblebee, the word kind, and then a walking path.
The words match Aldred's new vision in life, which she hopes to share with others.
I wanted something that could resonate with everyone, and I landed on Be Kind Blooms, and I want it to be a space where people come and they don't worry about yesterday or tomorrow. I think the mission behind the patch is just live for today, choose joy, and be kind.
There are nearly 30 acres of blooms here, which adds up to, get this, almost 600,000 sunflowers. It takes about 20 minutes to walk the wide trails if you don't stop.
Unless you know someone, you don't always have a chance to step foot on farm and truly just enjoy it at a slow pace.
But most visitors probably will, including a select few who book in advance for a date night experience in one of 5 open areas.
You can go to a restaurant any day of the week, but not every day can you drive out to the country and come and enjoy a sunset and sunflowers.
As a young entrepreneur, Jody hopes the field she created in partnership with family and local businesses attracts people to West Elgin.
West Elgin honestly lacks something to draw people, so for people to come out and give them reason to come and enjoy the country.
The field opens this Friday, with all proceeds on August 25th going to the Children's Health Foundation. More information is on our website and app now. In West Elgin, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Stay with us. We'll be back with more news after the break. Well, finally for us tonight, a familiar name is back in the game. Frederick Lanes reopens Friday after 2 bowlers bought the business, keeping the community alley from closing for good. CTV's Karis Mapp takes us inside the revival of a local favorite.
Same location under new ownership. Frederick Lanes preparing to officially reopen Friday by hosting a friends and family night at the former AMF bowling alley.
It's definitely weird and surreal, and it's like only starting to, I think, sort of kick in that, wow, like we're actually open and like something's happening.
The opening revealing some much needed upgrades to the place.
The roof was in very bad shape. Many of the ceiling tiles that we replaced in here were yellow. And that's not from water stains. That's actually from cigarette stains from when they would smoke in here.
Even community members lending a helping hand to repair the beloved bowling center.
So many people just came out to help and just didn't ask for money or like slashed their costs.
I had got in contact with him doing some plumbing work for him through the bowling alley, so real community kind of thing.
With the hard work out of the way, it was time to bond over bowling.
I walked in the building and the smell, like it feels like home, and for us, like seeing the familiar faces again, it's like this is why we did it.
No details spared to curate a comfortable space to build connections.
We're really hoping that this will continue to be that sort of space where people can just sort of come in no matter what age, what sort of like ability level, and just like have a good time, because that's what it's been for us.
The co-owners say they're grateful to have been able to keep the ball rolling on this local staple and hope that it strikes a chord with the community come Friday. Karis Mapp, CTV News, Kitchener.
What a lovely community hub. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be passing through on opening day on Friday and throughout the weekends to come. That's our time. Thank you for checking in and staying up with us. You could find news anytime over at ctvnewskitchener.ca or on our CTV News app. I'm Alexandra Hollick. Have a good night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care.